Today, I'm going to be teaching you the differences between understeer and oversteer within racing and how you can tweak the setup to maximize performance and pace within the car. Performance and pace within the car can lead to pole positions, race wins, and race wins might even lead to championships. With that being said, let's get on track and make some examples. So we're going to be starting with some on-track examples between understeer and oversteer, starting with understeer. See, flying down to the first 6 turns at Spain, brake just before the 50-meter board, and you can see the front tyres just scrubbing and washing across the road. Commonly known as understeer, and this is what you hear about with drivers complaining that they can't get lap time out of their racing car because the understeer makes the car feel unresponsive, sloppy, and it's very difficult and very frustrating to try and extract lap time from a car that have a lot of understeer. You can see now on track for the oversteer example, we're going to be braking at exactly the same point just before the 50-meter board to keep this test fair. See, coming down, and you're going to see the rear just stepping out, causing oversteer and making the car twitchy and very hard to drive. You can see the car is just as slow as when we had understeer, but a lot more dangerous, a lot more edgy. And this is what a lot of drivers will talk about when they say they don't have confidence in their racing car, because the oversteer is unpredictable, snappy, and will be able to reduce the confidence of the driver to push to the car's maximum ability. So now I'm going to be able to show you one of the most simple and one of the most easy and effective ways to cure understeer or oversteer in your car. And we're going to be using the tool of the rear anti-roll bar. You can see at the moment it's set to 1 on the lowest setting. We're on preset on the game, and that is going to be the default setup. So what we're going to do is increase the rear anti-roll bar all the way up to 10. We're going to do the first 6 corners again, and you're going to be able to see the handling characteristics of this car. Then what we're going to do is drop the rear anti-roll bar all the way back down to 1, and you're going to be able to see the increased understeer from the car, and you're going to be able to see how effective the rear anti-roll bar is at changing the balance of the car. So you're coming down to turn 1, we've got 54% brake bias and 80% differential. We're going to keep this test fair and keep these settings locked between the two tests. So you come down to turn 1, hit the first apex, hit the second apex. You can see the car is pretty nicely balanced, flat out, all the way through turn 3, just about keeping it in track limit. So you can see that car was pretty nice to drive. Didn't have understeer, didn't really have oversteer as well. A fairly compatible car with my driving style, I would like to say. But now you can see we've got that rear anti-roll bar back down to 1. And we're going to go back out on track, and we're going to be testing this, and keep a keen eye out for the steering wheel and the front tyres scrubbing and losing time across the surface of the track in turns 1, 2 and 3 of Spain. So you can see we've got the brake bias at 54% and the differential at 80%, exactly the same as we did this last. Coming down to turn 1, brake just before the 50-meter board to keep this test fair, down to 5th gear, and you can see increased understeer in turn 1, increased understeer in turn 2, but turn 3 is a downforce corner, so although we have just a bit more understeer as well, it isn't that noticeable because the downforce takes over. So there we have it. The rear anti-roll bar is one of the most effective tools within your setup arsenal to make understeer or oversteer more drivable and, more importantly, faster. Because we all want to be faster on track, set the best lap times possible. But remember, every single driver, you included, has a different driving style that needs to master and also base the setup around. For example, my teammate in F1 Esports, David Tanitsa, has a much more oversteery driving style compared to myself, who prefers understeer. Remember, you have to make the setup to how you want to drive. You're an amazing driver, an amazing human being as well. Keep on pushing on track for the best lap times possible. Search for every thousandth that you can find. Post below if this tutorial has been helpful to you, and if it has, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe as well. But until the next video, have an amazing day, have an amazing night, wherever it is in the world for you, and I will catch you next time. Grazie, ciao ciao.